Hey everybody. I'm back, kind of. Is my sidechain working? Sort of. I'm definitely eating the mic. I'm just going to turn it down on. How's it going? Where is my major malfunction? And I have a background on chat. Why don't I have a background on chat? Probably because I use StreamFX for that. Well, I can fix that. I have a ton of stuff going on. OBS 29 beta. Did I set my categories? Let's set some categories. Talk shows, let's do just chatting. And is this live on Twitter? Has the second richest man in the world ruined broadcasting on Twitter? Papa. Oh, there it is. Yep, I am live on Twitter. All right. Well, what am I going to do today? I have a meeting in Bellevue in 4 hours. So I'm charging my bike battery. I got an off-road class bike. I need paint for this. I need pink spray paint. $6. May need polishing. No, how do I finish paint properly on my own? I'll find out. But I could do this. I've got a maroon base coat going on so far. Desktop's lagging just a little bit. Probably because of the background. Let's turn that off. Go to the Neewer store. I want to find a cheap handle. I need to hold on to this camera and move it So I need a little bit of rigging for that. Close. Oh, is that it? Okay. No, I want a... Oh, I already have it, don't I? In fact, it was a newer... Yeah, this thing. Shoulder rig kit. So what could I take from this that will let me reposition that? I think I've got it. That? I unplugged my headphones. I dropped my clamp to hold this in place somewhere. How far can this go and not be visible? Nice. It's surprising how tight the frame is that close to the camera. Perfect length. Unfortunately, this is not a quarter 20. I need to find... I need to find my rigging that is actually quarter 20s. Set this here so I don't forget about it. Yeah, that camera slider part is probably what I need. That's going to be the only thing that has quarter 20s on it. Maybe. There we go. Small rig. I kind of think this is too narrow for my purposes. Blocked. That's a good candidate. I also kind of like this, maybe with a cheese plate. Why is there no price on this? Oh, because it's not available. Oh, but this one, it looks like the same. Oh, similar. Oh, look at that. That's what I want. Oh, this. Oh. I don't know if I have the right amount of clearance, but this is probably what I want. Not bad. Too expensive. These are nice though. Small. This one's tempting. I really like how compact this one is, but I don't think it is the right piece for me right now. Oh. Why don't I just go to the Nicey Rig store and see what's available? This piece is getting a little too epic for me. So what I've got holding this is a tilt head, and it's the tilt head's a little loose, and it's the tilt head that is tensioned from the inside, unfortunately. So, yeah, the problem is that if I get one like this, it will cause too much trouble with the mounting on the camera. The camera's hooked onto that by one of these micro quick releases. I tested quite a few of those micro quick releases, by the way. Let's see, it's in my reviews somewhere. Community activity, my profile. Well, thanks. That's not helpful. I have more reviews than that. Come on. Load. Hiding my... Oh, there it is. Yeah, so here's all of the different micro quick releases that I reviewed. So that's the Adai Professional Quick Release that's discontinued. So the Andy Cine, of course. Andy Cine. Not quite compatible with Adai. Very close. So yeah, so this one's my recommendation for micro quick release. Hello, hello. Am I coming in? Is anyone out there? Let's explore the shield mode. Yeah, I am coming in. Turn this down. That's pretty cool. All right, so does this activate it? Oh, yeah. Shield mode off. Okay. Look at this. It's pretty much what I want. Actually, this has all of the components of what I want. Because each of those 15 mil rail feet could be used for one of those quick releases if it was locked down tight enough. The next thing to worry about is counterbalance if I put a monitor on it, if I put a prompter on it. So I'm deciding if I'm going to game or if I'm going to cover this news. But announcement. Okay, here we go. Not tomorrow. Today's Thursday. Sunday, we're going to have the Esna Earth show. And then right after that, I'm going to be on Environmental Coffee House talking about fusion, the ignition experiment that has been relatively successful at producing net positive thermal reactions. What that means is the thermal input is less than 70% of the output. That's exciting. That does not mean that the total Q of the system is above 1. In fact, it took hundreds of times as much energy in order to produce that thermal energy than the fusion system output. So, right, that's a little disappointing. Let's go into it. So, I have some articles about this that I shared. Who did I share them with? Oh yeah, I put them in Discord. Are. Nature.com article. This is the best one. This is what I'm going to share on Sunday. I hope that's the right one. Yes. Okay. Oh, that's not the right camera. Nuclear fusion lab achieves ignition. So what does that mean? And really, we need to get into what it is, how it works, all of that. Fix my chat position. There we go. So, creating a nuclear reaction that generates more energy than it consumes. So that is a singular reaction. Like I said, more thermal output than thermal inputs. And that's the difference between a experiment and a commercial scale energy reactor. Yes, it's great. It's wonderful. They're celebrating. This means that we can theoretically achieve fusion on Earth. We have different confinement options. And this inertial confinement means that we are just able to do fusion and produce energy. Here it is. So 192 lasers And those imparted 2 megajoules of energy into frozen hydrogen. The reaction, that little cylinder basically blowing up, produced 54% more energy than was thermally imparted to it. Here's the below the lead. Here's the lead that's been buried. Those lasers consumed 322 megajoules of energy in the process. Less than 1% of the output. Less than 1%. Your Q is less than 0.01. You have not solved the world's energy problems. Bummer. Bummer. Not an amazing outcome. That's for sure. Could be so much better. Could be so much better. And I'm here talking about it to 0 viewers on Twitch. 1 viewer on Twitch, maybe. 1 viewer on Twitch. Hope you're doing well, whoever you are. We're going to have much more discussion over fusion, the potential of fusion, where we really are, and then I'm going to go to Environmental Coffee House on Sunday. We're going to have a nice big discussion about it. But yeah, this is the lead that was buried, is we are not actually churning out huge amounts of energy. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Oh, there's Bella. I should say hi to Bella. Oh, this is actually interesting.
In that type of environment. So it's like, well, now I have this network of people and I have all this experience of doing content since like 2018. Let's just start my own business. And that's what I did. And so now I'm doing that. And since I have all this time, I can go and actually like stream and have my own personal content creation while I do creation for my clients and everything.
Oh wow,
This is
cool.
No, I did not make it up here from the move to California to Washington. Oh yeah, and I moved from California to Washington, so I live in the Pacific Northwest now, which is great.
This is amazing.
And it's
This
a huge
is
vibe,
living the dream.
like being able to go out hiking and everything. Want to chat about fusion? Help the business. Hey, Soy. Yeah, we were chatting about fusion a little bit earlier. What do you think about the announcement that came out? Let's talk fusion. Yeah. If experience can pay rent, we wouldn't be landlords. True. You're Doomer on it. Talking
That
to
was fun.
Oh wait, who's Environmental Coffee House? Hmm. Is this someone I need to connect with? Oh, refreshing that we're able to have an open conversation about open conversation about like marketing analytics. Yeah, no, I mean since I work in digital marketing and everything,
Okay. Still good.
like
Something
yeah,
flashed.
I'll just be blunt with analytics and stuff like that, y'all. So like, yeah, so it is
Oh,
a
did it
return.
crash?
Because like sitting at my
No. Okay.
Oh. She's part of the Facebook YouTube Climate Doomer community. What? I didn't know that there's a whole like climate doomer community. I need to look into this. Maybe we can go and sprinkle some climate coziness. Returns we had in terms of energy output and fusion.
Oh boy. I'm sorry to say, Bela, but there's so many doomers out there.
I mean, I'd hope so. Because I mean, we've been doing so much fusion research for years. So it would be really great to start seeing some exponential output from all this stuff.
No, not gonna happen.
Also, I will be right back. I'm gonna get a little bit more water. So BRB.
BRB. Well, Bella's cool. She just started streaming a couple hours ago, and I think I'll probably hang out here. So maybe we'll co-stream if that's... I should ask permission to co-stream, but she's at a BRB screen. Yeah. That's, yeah, they're gonna get disappointed. Did There we go. My music is super quiet now.
Article, some very important stuff below the fold. Okay. Let me pull up that on the side so I can read it for today.
Yeah,
Is it the one, Nuclear Fusion Lab achieves ignition, what does it mean? Is that the article? By Jeff and Elizabeth. Okay, cool. I will take a gander and read through that. Later today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Laser output is 2.1. So we're working off megajoules? Is that what? Wait, what game are we? Amp-free. The laser thermal output. Okay. Oh, we're doing the card game. Got it.
All right, I'm gonna play
it's
games
red or
while
black.
I listen to Bella and interact with her chat because
I think
I'm
it
getting
is
some traction
red.
on the fusion discussion.
Yes.
So let's play. Let's play Star Trek Fleet Command.
Oh, I got brow line glasses. Nice. But I don't wear glasses anymore. I'm debating whether or not I want to refresh my emotes because I don't wear glasses anymore. Like I got laser eye surgery, so my eyes actually work. But you know, all my emotes are me with glasses. So it's like, wait, oh no. Or maybe we just keep it like that because legacy emotes. Runtime energy requirement. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, over time, isn't it going to... Let's see, I need to get this person to move here. You can just have the OG artist mirror the glasses. Yes, I could. I need to reach out to Blue Penguin. Oh, yeah, Blue Penguin is who did all my emotes, and I want to have them redo or make us new subscriber badges, since now you know, there's like so many badges for affiliates. Wouldn't be surprised if they hit 10 megajoules in 2 years from now. Oh, I'm gonna say it's still red. Let's do that. Sweet, Hamfrey is going to move to the city. Or our budding city. Slowly becoming a city. Now the GIF is up. Oh wait, oh no, did you make a new GIF? Hold up. Wait, I'm getting so many notifications right now. Oh, Climate Replay. Discord's messaging me. Your help is that we get efficient confinement. Got it. So is that why you're pretty doomer about it? Is because the nature of the experiment? I mean, that would also explain why the whole marketing of it was like, this is super great for national defense, is because, oh wait, we can go and make... we can make more weapons. Like, why can't we just have a nice little power plant that we can use for the decarbonizing the economy? That would be really nice.
Oh boy.
That's NASA's angle. Ah. Oh yeah, Castor. Nice. Oh, wow. Sorry, I read it super fast, so I was thinking it was NASA. And NSA is angle. Got it. Oh, it's processing. Okay. We'll wait for the processing.
All right. I have
Could
been
explain
so
more
far
about those
behind.
restrictions and what we
I
can
have
say.
missed 2 days worth of
Got it.
Ketracel rewards, and that's
Gotta
terrible.
love the whole NDA thing. It's fun. It's complicated is the best answer. I mean, all of science is super complicated. That's for sure. It's beyond NDA. Oh. This is like, you say something and like national security comes knocking on your door. Little fish. They're talking about national secrets. Man, we need to have a word with you. You're press, you're not in the field. You read the releases and can say whatever. I mean, technically, right? Isn't that the whole point of heads and stars and stripes and everything nice we promise? Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of being part of the press, right?
Yeah. So lol, I'm basically I really want people to get up.
There's a lot that is classified, yeah. Which makes sense. You know, I understand the... After working in a job that has, like, classified and NDA things, it's like, oh, yeah. I understand why. At the same time, I do wish that if we had more transparency in things, I don't know. I think that could also just be, like, more of a benefit to society, but maybe that's more of a hot take item. Like, the whole idea, like, if we were to just tone it down into things like intellectual property or patents, especially for things in, like, the medical field, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what's the whole... Why would we do that? Surprising amount that's publicly available. Mm-hmm. The releases save verification stewardship. As long as you don't pull a don't look up type situation. Stockpile stewardship is the term we tend to use.
I'm so doomer.
Supercomputers. So I'm absolutely out of the loop on this type of stuff. So I'm learning as I go from y'all in chat right now. So this is a heads up. Like, this is a little bit above where I typically operate. But I find it very fascinating. Wooden double. Ooh, we can make a big bed. Seashells. Did y'all know that before we had paper money and gold and silver and all of that, cowrie shells were actually a mode of currency?
Okay, I'm getting distracted. I can mute Bella now. My am I dropping frames now? Feels like it. Oh, it's my GPU is chunking. Anyways, Bella's not saying much important, so she's just getting around to it.
Godwin?
I'm just throwing bits and pieces.
Simulation.
Oh my goodness. It and like the doom that I'm getting over nuclear weapons is yeah. It's like we've made fusion. Great. Everyone's surprised we've done fusion, but Oh, so I'm so doomer pilled right now. Where is all my GPU power going to? Something is eating it up. Okay, now I'm dropping frames slightly. Back to 30. It feels slower though. Okay, that's a little better, but just too much video throughput, I think, right now. Alt stations? What? How's it going, chat? I'm kind of listening to Bella read through this. Not a nuclear energy device. There it is. Keep going. You almost made it. Nuclear Stockpile Research Program. Yep. There it is. They're getting it. Weapons, not energy. Weapons. I just don't see how we're gonna get. How are we gonna get 2 orders of magnitude improvement in inertial confinement fusion in order to produce energy? Because that would be break even right now. Like the lasers. Oh, hey Kosa. Yeah, it's like why are you not why are people not talking about the weapons angle on this? It's so sorry, I got I've been getting quiet. I'm listening to Bela and ranting out this myself. I need to do my invoices. I think I need to play some LOL. I should play some LOL. Oh shoot, I'm not even giving you my gameplay. It doesn't matter. Gameplay audio is overrated. I need to reboot or something. This is really chunking. I should have done that earlier. Yeah, that coal. Yeah, Kosa says Res Story Guardian that UK coal stations are getting ready to be spooled up again. Europe is in a Dunkelflaute, a dim, dark, flat, in other words, calm time period. You can go to electricitymaps.com and see wind a third of its peak capacity. That's what we got, is not enough. It's winter. When the heating of the hemisphere starts to slow down, the circulation of the air slows down, And the total energy available on this side of the globe, and yes, it is a globe, is less available. So yes, of course, the wind energy total is lower in winter. So you have to compensate for that. You need to overbuild. You need seasonal storage. And the only seasonal storage that's viable is chemical. In other words, fuel storage of energy. How do you get fuel storage of energy? You got to crack water into hydrogen and oxygen. That's what you do, is you crack water, you break the chemical bonds, you make different volatile substances from a stable substance. That's how you store energy. You could do it with plants, right? Like biomass. Yeah. You could absolutely do that with the artificial... Man, my brain is not working. Plants do it. They turn sunlight into stored energy. They split up the carbon dioxide from the oxygen. No, the reverse. They take CO2. Yeah, they split photosynthesis. There it is. Artificial photosynthesis would be amazing, wouldn't it? Maybe we'll get there someday. Or you could literally use plants. And that's what biomass is. Oh, so life is hard. Again, I'll be speaking on Sunday at Environmental Coffee House. I should put that in the title now that the clickbait is done. Very chill stream today. All right, what do I need to be doing? I'm listening to Bella and I'm not talking to you. I need to be talking to you. And I need to be looking at my receipts so that I can talk about stuff with a lawyer today. Yes, I need to look at my invoices and my calendar. How much have I been working? How much have I been taking in? What's my estimate for my... Battleship. What I gotta do with a battleship? That's a battleship. Firm. And... oh... Makes sense. So I'm still listening to Bella. Someone's talking about having a pager. Of course, yeah. Government job, pager. Pager, security, yes. Yes, yes, obviously. What other stuff do I need to do? Domination, gain power. Oh, ship XP spent. I actually need to spend ship XP. Let's recall and boost this one. This one's so close to the end. If I spent 100,000 ship XP on it, I would just finish the domination. And then perimeter security is armadas, and then... God damn it, new... new activities in order to do this. So... Star Trek Fleet Command assaults. What is an assault station? Alliance must build the command control building. Starbase must be deployed to a plasma storm. Any Alliance member over operations level 15 can initiate an assault against another Alliance starbase. They must spend tactical mandates from their own inventory to begin the assault. Okay. Alliance Altruism Pack. Alliance Unity Daily Goal. Or Offers tab. Alliance Unity Daily Goal. Also need to do stealth. Jen Moreau. Oh, hey, Zakap. Jeez. Hi, I am Resident Sleepering you. What's up? Oh, this one. Adam something. Nice. That's a great video, Zakap. Isn't this his second video on nuclear? Okay, fine. Let's react to this. Oh, I have too many windows open. I should not be. Oof, my windows are unhappy with me. I've seen Adam Something's previous video. No, that was Adam Ruins Everything. Okay, so this is Adam Something's first video on nuclear, but Adam Ruins Everything had a really great video on nuclear. So let's cue this up. Kill the music. Geez, I need to reboot. Oh well.
Of the dangers of nuclear power, the risk of meltdown, invisible but deadly radiation, memories of Chernobyl and Fukushima, an issue so pervasive it birthed Die Grünen, the Green Party, one of Germany's largest political forces, with Green parties in general being staunchly anti-nuclear. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the energy crisis, however, these positions have been increasingly questioned. The two disasters, indeed the two disasters most often brought up by anti-nuclear activists, are Chernobyl and Fukushima. These two precedents are used to paint a picture of the danger nuclear power plants pose. However, when looking at the facts, those concerns seem, if nothing else, exaggerated. Alarmist even. Or do they? Is there merit to the criticism, and where does that put nuclear power in the middle of the energy crisis? About that, power costs have been hitting historic highs. As a result, we've seen a flurry of government action to try and rein things in. Now, normally, people's income from passive investments would help ease the pain of higher cost of living. But unfortunately, Goldman Sachs reports that a typical stock-heavy portfolio is expected to flatline at best this year. And so what do you do when inflation is making your savings a bad place to keep money as well? You could put your investments outside the stock market. No, not a safe or a pillow. I'm talking real assets like fine art. According to Deloitte, 85% of wealth managers believe there's an argument for art as part of a wealth offering. Even Morgan Stanley specifically talks about fine art, saying, investment-grade art has a low correlation to other major asset classes and often experiences lower price volatility. Numbers from Citibank show that contemporary art specifically has a negative 0.04 correlation to developed market equities, i.e. major stocks. Not only can it diversify your portfolio, it's had some stellar appreciation, even outpacing the S&P.
What is this bait and switch? Oh my god.
500 for the last 26 years by 131%.
We're talking about investments?
It can actually appreciate even more. Contemporary art's appreciation spiked from 13.8% for the last 25 years to a whopping 25%. No wonder during our current crisis, Masterworks is seeing increased demand from investors looking to get contemporary art into their portfolios. Masterworks buys up an expensive art piece, then breaks it up into smaller, affordable shares through the SEC. You can read all the offering circulars at the SEC database linked in the description.
Okay.
So the two examples cited by opponents of nuclear. Let's take a look at Chernobyl first. What happened there? First off, no, the exclusion zone is not Stalker, there aren't any gigantic mutated animals or wondrous radioactive anomalies. The zone is in fact one of the best wildlife sanctuaries on the planet. There are wild horses, foxes, a whole lot of animals happily living in the area. Until the Russians arrived anyway. And the zone itself was at no point abandoned, not even the nuclear power plant. After Block 4 exploded in 1986, Block 2 went on operating till 1991, Block 1 till 1996,
Kept
and
going.
Block 3 all the way till 2000. But what about the radiation? To answer this question, I went and asked Thunderfoot, a PhD researcher and fellow YouTuber.
Okay. You should talk to the real experts. Okay, Thunderfoot is actually a expert in this, but you could talk to Geraldine Thomas, who is literally the expert on the effects of radiation on humans. Okay.
He said, radiation around Chernobyl is comparable to what you get on an airplane at altitude. The plane is more dangerous though due to the whole body dose. Most of the remaining Chernobyl radiation is cesium-137. Cesium in the environment isn't a great danger unless you eat it. So there you have it. Chernobyl is generally safe unless you go around eating the local soil and flora. Just 36 years after the world's worst nuclear catastrophe. And this is where the alarmism, sensationalism, and people's general lack of physics knowledge intersect. Photos like this might look scary to the average Joe. Oh, what's this? A Chernobyl mushroom with one of them Genghis counters next to it. 21.88? That sounds mighty high, whatever that is. Nuclear power's bad. That picture is from Pripyat, the city right next to the power plant. The display shows 21.88 microsieverts, which equals 0.02 millisieverts, which is about 1/4 of the dosage you get on a transatlantic flight, which is 0.08. For the sake of perspective, a likely lethal dose would be 5,000 millisieverts, 65,500 times the radiation on transatlantic flights, and 250,000 times that of a Pripyat mushroom. It's not so scary when you put it that way, is it? The destruction of Chernobyl Block 4 itself is also a special case which nowadays couldn't happen in any developed country. Very briefly, the Chernobyl plant was running Soviet RBMK-1000 reactors which were cheap and easy to build and maintain, but this also entailed design flaws which were only corrected after the disaster. Basically, the thing was very peculiar, and in order to avoid a runaway thermal feedback loop and potentially a catastrophe, you need reliable equipment and highly trained personnel. Neither of this was present in Chernobyl. On top of that, the Russian Empire, back then calling itself the Soviet Union, has always been notorious for cheaping out and suppressing inconvenient truths such as fatal design flaws in their nuclear reactors, or more recently the actual state of the Russian armed forces. Ever since then, all remaining RBMK reactors have been retrofitted, meaning right now there isn't a single nuclear power plant on the planet which is able to explode like Chernobyl Reactor 4. Fair enough, but what about Fukushima then? Let's talk about that. The year is 2011. It's the 11th of March, quarter to 15.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to, I'll do my best to react kindly to this. A lot of people get Fukushima wrong, even on the pro-nuclear side. Okay. Let's go.
In 1 minute, the Tohoku earthquake would begin, just 72 kilometers off the coast, lasting for about 6 minutes. The good news is, it didn't happen right under the land. The bad news is, it was a magnitude 9 earthquake, the absolute top of the Richter scale. As it was underwater, it set off an enormous tsunami. Now, the nuclear power plant was right on the coast, but behind wave barriers. And right up to the tsunami, things were in order. Of the 6 reactors, only 3 were operating. The other 3 were shut down for inspections. When the earthquake hit, the 3 operational reactors shut down correctly as intended. However, coolant has to be circulated even after a shutdown, otherwise things can heat up and the reactor can melt down. Since the reactors no longer produced electricity, emergency diesel generators started running the coolant pumps. However, then the tsunami arrived, so large that it broke through the wave barriers and flooded the plant's basement where those generators were located. All generators failed with the exception of reactor 6's, providing enough power to cool both 5 and 6. The first 4, however, were left without coolant and melted down. There were also some hydrogen explosions, so if you see damage on the plant's buildings, it was that. Now you might be asking, how on earth did they not think of the tsunami risk in Japan of all places, with a coastal nuclear power plant of all things? Why did they put the generators in the basement, and how come they didn't know that wave barriers were insufficient for a large tsunami?
Okay. One thing that Adam something missed here. There weren't just 6 reactors. There were 10. There were 10 reactors in Fukushima Daiichi and Daini, sister plants miles apart, but still, they both faced tsunami conditions. They both lost power. They both lost generators. They both had to use battery backups. Very exciting. I want more people to talk about Daini.
And the answer is, they did know. The company operating the plant, TEPCO,
True.
has received warnings about the tsunami risk from the US Nuclear Regulatory Commission, various Japanese government committees, the Japanese Active Fault and Earthquake Research Center, and 2 separate in-house studies by TEPCO itself. They all came to the same conclusion. If there is a large enough tsunami, the plant's existing defenses will be wholly insufficient, resulting in a disaster. And TEPCO took all these studies and warnings and simply ignored them. Yep.
So the people who, oh hey Yuho, how's it going? We're reacting to this Atom Something video on Fukushima that Zach App sent me, and I think he went to bed. It is very late in Western Australia right now, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, good video.
If anything, this disaster has shown us how safe nuclear power plants really are, even in such an extreme environment. Since without decades of gross negligence and lack of oversight, the plant would have been fine even during a magnitude 9 earthquake and an enormous tsunami. The earthquake and tsunami killed 19,759, injured 6,242, with 2,553 missing. So how many people died due to the Fukushima nuclear disaster? 1. Yeah. And
No.
if you look at the plant on a map,
Wrong. They did not die from Fukushima radiation. They were a smoker. It was a legalistic judgment. It was an insurance settlement. It was not a repeatable scientific fact. Fail. Fraud. You got fooled, my friend. This was not a
you'll see that
This was not a scientifically reproducible death from radiation.
the area around it is very much inhabited. People still live there. There's even a 7-Eleven just 1.5 kilometers away from the actual reactor blocks. As you can see, when you actually look at the facts, nuclear power, even nuclear disaster,
Okay, I got to comment on that one. This one. Okay, this is wrong.
yeah. Look at the facts, nuclear power, even nuclear disasters, are suddenly a lot less scary. However, this didn't stop Germany, for example, from trying to phase out its nuclear production from 2011 onwards, which resulted in the country's increasing dependence on Russian hydrocarbons, which ended up financing the imperialistic, genocidal conquest of Ukraine. There was a parallel attempt at the so-called Energiewende, a large-scale shift towards green energy sources, but that initiative is now mired in German bureaucracy with no solution in sight. Thus, in order to plug the hole left by the nuclear phase-out, Germany had to resort to lignite, the dirtiest, most polluting, lowest quality type of coal there is. In addition,
Yeah.
Lignite is mined via open pit mining, turning the environment into an actual wasteland for multiple square kilometers. So there we go. We turned entire regions into wastelands to burn the worst possible fossil fuel just so we can shut down those scary nuclear power plants. Meanwhile, in France, nuclear power constitutes 3/4 of the energy mix, with 6 new reactors planned in the next 15 years. Poland has also opted for nuclear to replace their notoriously polluting coal power plants. And good for them. There is nothing really wrong with nuclear, and opposition thereof originates either from a lack of knowledge or deliberate spread of sensationalist misinformation. You know, it's easy to report cesium levels exceeding the norm 100 million times when the norm is 0. And regarding nuclear waste storage, it's a pain in the ass, complicated and expensive, but by no means unsolvable, and vastly preferable to dying from the climate catastrophe. Plus, turns out the Chernobyl zone is perfect for large-scale nuclear waste storage, such a facility having been inaugurated a few months before the invasion. Nuclear energy should be the basis of every modern energy mix. It should be used as a stable backbone with renewable energy stacked on top. This is the surest, most effective way of getting rid of fossil fuels and achieving carbon neutrality in the energy sector. And if you still think nuclear plants are too risky, well, global warming is far riskier, so take your pick. Thank you for watching. This was my video about nuclear power. If you like my content, please consider supporting me on Patreon, and otherwise like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you later.
That was great. I like it.
This video is sponsored.
Just a few problems, but it was pretty good. Very nice, very nice. Zacap sent me another one that I'm supposed to react to. Let's find that. Oh, right. Yuho says Germany had to dismantle wind turbines out of the way of a lignite mine. so they're literally digging up more coal, and there's some wind turbines in the way. So knock them down. Yeah, that's what you do. Back to gaming for a little bit. Oh, it's very ironic. So I have a Mantis. I think the Auger is my next goal. Either an Auger or another Meridian. I don't think I need another Meridian. Yeah, I really need an Auger. How efficient? Okay, so here's the question. How efficient is getting an Auger with Ketracell going to be? And how close am I going to be? So I've got 224.2 thousand divided by 10.6. So I have 21 Auger blueprints from that. And in my factions, '21. Really? No. Times 10. 53 plus 21. Halfway to getting an Auger. All right. So that's one possible use of the blueprints. Okay. Oh, of the Ketracell. That's the event thing. Okay, so what am I going to do here? I'm going to spend 100,000 ship XP and finish an event. Okay, so that's done. And then this is Armadas. 2 minutes ago. Okay. Oh, whoops. Let's get the right crew. Kirk. Con. And 5. Will I make it? No, I won't. What if Warp? No, I won't make it. Okay. Well, shoot. Oh, yeah. Here's the link. Oh, yeah, you can post a link. Here's a link to the last video. Wait, is my... The Times gas crisis forces Germany to flatten wind farm. Oh, boy. That's... Isn't that funny? Eight wind turbines will be dismantled with a dozen nearby villages and hamlets to clear space for a pit that will ultimately cover an area about the size of Swindon, 25 miles to the northwest of Köln. 190 million tons of lignite. Wow. Boy. Just, it's too bad Germany had to shut down all their nuclear plants. I mean, what a bummer. Put this in my, I'll start. I just had some kind of a interesting... What is going on here? Oh, offer up. No, thank you. Wow. So yeah, seeing destruction like that, it's definitely concerning. That hurts. Like seeing what could really happen when your energy comes from coal. It's pretty gross. I love to talk about the Kingston coal ash spill, and that's the number one thing that just blows my mind. I've got to go. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and so let's find another video to react to.
free electricity. But there's a problem. You see, not all sectors of our economy can be electrified. And in those cases, we usually need to burn fuel to produce thermal energy. This calls for clean, carbon-free fuel to burn. But where do we find it? For Japan, the answer is hydrogen. But not just any hydrogen, red hydrogen, produced by nuclear energy. What does that even mean? I'm Ricky, and this is Tuba Da Vinci. When you think of Japan and nuclear power, I'll wager that hydrogen isn't the next thing that pops into your head. Yet Japan is a world leader in both hydrogen technology and nuclear energy production. And recently they brought the two together in a technological breakthrough that has been decades in the making. Japan has been one of the strongest proponents of hydrogen adoption in the international scene, working to create hydrogen supply chains and developing the hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle industry. They house the world's largest green hydrogen plant, the Fukushima Hydrogen Energy Research Field. However, clean hydrogen produced from renewable sources is very expensive and unlikely to be a cost-effective alternative in the next few decades. So Japan's energy policy regarding hydrogen seems somewhat like a gamble. Elon Musk even once joked that hydrogen-powered vehicles run on fuel cells instead of fuel cells.
I don't want to turn this into a debate on hydrogen fuel cells.
Regardless, establishing elemental technologies for hydrogen production is still one of Japan's core green growth strategies to reach carbon neutrality by 2050, something the government confirmed just last year. So we've covered hydrogen before on this channel, links in the description. So I won't get too deep into the pros and cons here, but hydrogen has plenty going for it. After nuclear energy, hydrogen has the highest specific energy density of any known fuel, packing 33.3 kilowatt hours per kilogram. This is 3 times more punch in the same amount of mass as the best fossil fuels. Additionally, we can burn hydrogen to generate heat and use a fuel cell to generate electricity, in both cases releasing nothing more than water vapor, so it's carbon-free. On the flip side, being a gas, hydrogen has a very poor volumetric energy density, so we have to compress it at very high pressures to make it practical. This brings all sorts of problems that go from storage and transportation to safety issues, none of which are trivial and which have helped make batteries and not hydrogen the key technology for the EV industry. But why does Japan seem so hell-bent on pursuing hydrogen, and how does this affect you and me? Well, here's the thing. We've entered a little bit of a technological arms race between battery electric and hydrogen fuel cells, and both have pros and cons, and different countries have chosen different sides. The Americans and Germans are really leaning into battery electric, but the Japanese and companies like Honda and Toyota have really not been too involved in EVs so far. They're really betting that hydrogen will be the winning formula. It's kind of like Betamax and VHS, right? A Blu-ray and HD DVD. Which you pick could have long-term implications. And in the case of Honda and Toyota, Japanese car companies, they might not even be around if this hydrogen bet is the losing one. So there's a lot at stake, both for countries and companies alike. For Japan, one of the main reasons is that they're a very small island with few resources, but with a big appetite for energy. This makes energy security a big deal in Japan, especially after the oil crisis in the 70s. So they've been pushing hydrogen technology as a more sustainable and reliable option ever since. In that same period, they've also turned in a big way to nuclear energy. In fact, nuclear energy is at the core of today's topic, but not for the reasons you're probably thinking. We'll get back to that in a little bit. The future is going to be electric. The question is whether it's stored in batteries, hydrogen, or something else. For industries like aviation and cargo ships, maybe hydrogen has an advantage while batteries are dominant in passenger cars. But one industry where there is no contest is e-bikes, where batteries are just perfect, and where our sponsor this week comes in. This is the Level 2 commuter e-bike by Aventon, and it's awesome. Let me tell you why you got to check this thing out. It has a powerful 750 watt hub motor, good for 28 miles an hour and around 60 miles of range. You can use the throttle to just sit back and relax, or dial in 5 different levels of pedal assist. I live on a pretty steep hill, so I love the in-pedal torque sensor that detects when I'm trying to pedal harder and ramps up the electric motor. Maybe you want to get a little more help and a little less sweaty on your way to work, and then reduce the assist and get a great workout on the way home. And with awesome headlights and taillights, you'll be safe day or night. The front suspension soaks up the road and really reduces riding fatigue. Plus, with a quick release seat clamp, my wife and I are both using it regularly. The hydraulic brakes and 8-speed shifter give you that great confidence on the road, and the controls, integration, and build quality are just top notch. The full color display is a joy to use and even lets you track your ride using the Aventon app. They have a full line of e-bikes, so there's something for everyone. In fact, I've been eyeing the Cinch foldable e-bike for its portable design as my next purchase. With cool optional accessories like the Burley child trailer, we now ride to things like our local farmer's market instead of taking our car. So save on gas, get a good workout, get some sunshine, and check out the Aventon Level 2 commuter bike today. Links in the description. Huge thanks to Aventon and you for supporting the show. The second and equally important reason is that many heavy industries like steel production, heavy transportation, chemical industry, and even the aerospace industries cannot run on electricity alone and require burning some sort of fuel, where hydrogen is the perfect replacement for fossil fuels. This makes hydrogen imperative to reach our global carbon neutrality goals. Take steelmaking, for example, which accounts for roughly 8 to 9% of our total worldwide greenhouse gas emissions. A Swedish company called H2GS, as in hydrogen to green steel, will use hydrogen instead of coal to produce steel and is set to start operations in 2024, producing 5 million tons of high-quality steel per year with 95% fewer carbon emissions than traditional steel mills. Additionally, if used in the heavy transportation sectors, hydrogen could help cut down as much as 13 to 14% of our total carbon emissions. So clean hydrogen could help us cut down almost a quarter of the world's emissions, which is a huge step forward toward carbon neutrality. But there is a catch. Notice how I said clean hydrogen and not simply hydrogen. The problem is that though hydrogen itself burns cleanly, it's only as clean as the energy and processes we use to make it. And the sad truth is that 90% of the world's hydrogen, including Japan, is mostly made burning fossil fuels. As it turns out, even if we captured those emissions, producing what we call blue hydrogen, this hydrogen's carbon footprint is actually worse than just burning fossil fuels directly to begin with. So how can Japan use dirty hydrogen and then have the nerve to say that it's all in the aim of decarbonizing by 2050? As you may have already guessed, there's still more to unpack. In essence, Japan needs a stable, if dirty, hydrogen supply chain to keep its industries growing until they find an economically viable alternative. And they did. So the first thing that comes to mind when putting Japan and nuclear energy together is a nuclear disaster at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant.
Japan has been hit by its biggest earthquake since
An
records
explosion
began.
was heard and smoke seen at the power plant.
The images of destruction and flooding coming out of Japan are simply heartbreaking.
The disaster caused the meltdown and explosion of the reactor, releasing tons of radioactive materials into the atmosphere, displacing hundreds of thousands of Japanese residents, and unleashing a worldwide anti-nuclear energy movement. Here's the thing. When it comes to nuclear energy and also hydrogen, Japan kind of leads the way. After the Fukushima power plant disaster, many countries, not just Japan, really revisited and thought about their nuclear strategy and considered shutting down power plants. So when it comes to nuclear, how Japan goes, so goes the world. The aftermath really has affected all of us. In the United States, nuclear has been declining ever since, with 26 of the 96 operational nuclear reactors either scheduled to be or are already being decommissioned, and only 2 reactors currently under construction. Japan closed down all of its nuclear reactors and was forced to go back to coal and oil to cover the energy gap. This doesn't get talked about nearly enough. However, the energy crisis caused by the war in Ukraine caused oil and gas prices to skyrocket, making the Japanese reconsider. And now, nuclear is making a big comeback in Japan, thanks to its cutting-edge nuclear reactor called the High Temperature Gas-Cooled Reactor, or HTGR for short. And its implications are huge. We've been testing HTGR since 1964, but only as small-scale experimental reactors or pilot plants. Yet HTGRs are almost the holy grail of nuclear energy. They could prove to be the solution to cut down a significant portion of our carbon emissions and make hydrogen a real game changer that could rival lithium-ion in some market segments. But what exactly is an HTGR, and how is it different than all the other reactors we have today? To answer that, let's put on our engineering hats and do a nosedive into the nuclear reactor. Okay, that was a very poor choice of words, but you know what I mean. Nuclear energy is pretty straightforward. All current reactors use fission energy from the breakup of heavy atoms like uranium and plutonium to generate heat. We use that heat directly, or we use it to boil water and drive steam turbines and generate electricity. This reaction needs a neutron to start, but releases 3 other neutrons, which leads to a sustained chain reaction that constantly produces heat and power. It's crazy hard to maintain and control this chain reaction without it running away and blowing to smithereens. The big problem is heat, so we need to drain it out as fast as possible to avoid the core from melting. The vast majority of the 440 operational reactors worldwide are light water reactors that use liquid water as coolant. But in the case of HTGRs, the coolant isn't water, it's gas. A gas, as in air-cooled? Now that I think about it, The HTGR is like the VW Beetle of nuclear power plants. Anyway, using gas as a coolant has many challenges because gases have very low thermal conductivities in the range of 0.01 to 0.03 watts per meter Kelvin at room temperature, an order of magnitude lower than liquid water's 0.598 watts per meter Kelvin, and also lower specific heats. Air has a specific heat of roughly 1 joule per gram Kelvin, which is a fourth of liquid water's 4.186 joules per gram Kelvin. This means that gases absorb heat at a slower rate than water and can hold less heat from the same temperature difference, making them less effective as coolants in general. But Japan's new HTGR reactor isn't cooled by air. They chose helium, which has an unusually large thermal conductivity of 0.15 watts per meter Kelvin and a specific heat at room temperatures that's actually greater than water's. While still not as good as water at heating the core, helium has more important advantages. We can heat helium to much higher temperatures than liquid water, and since it's an inert gas, it won't corrode the piping. This allows us to operate the nuclear reactor at over 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, around 1000 degrees Celsius, compared to light water reactors that barely reach 600 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature is really important, not just for the production of electricity, but also for some of those heavy industries like steel we mentioned before. With adequate coupling technology, we could use this heat directly to power heavy industrial processes like iron making, oil refining, and even the petrochemical industry. In comes hydrogen. So to summarize, HTGRs are amazing, but what does it have to do with hydrogen? The answer is everything. Notice that several of the potential applications of HTGR heat have to do with hydrogen production. In the first place, HTGR heat is enough to drive the steam reforming processes used to make hydrogen from methane and other components of natural gas. This means we can use HTGR heat to produce hydrogen without burning fossil fuels. However, because gas reforming still produces carbon monoxide and dioxide as byproducts of the chemical reactions, hydrogen's carbon footprint is only reduced by about 40%. But there are two other hydrogen production technologies that require high temperatures that don't generate any carbon emissions at all, making the resulting hydrogen completely clean. Those are high-temperature steam electrolysis, HTSE, and thermochemical cycles like the thermochemical water-splitting iodine-sulfur process. This is exactly where Japan's potentially genius plan comes in. They're the first in the world to attempt coupling an operational HTGR called High Temperature Engineering Test Reactor, or HTTR, with a thermochemical cycle hydrogen production plant. The HTTR test reactor achieved its first criticality on November 10th, 1998, and started operating at its full 30 megawatts of thermal power on April 19th, 2004. It was then successfully run for 50 consecutive days in 2010 at full power with an outlet helium coolant temperature of 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything was shut down and put on hold after the 2011 Fukushima disaster. But 10 years later, after passing all new safety standards, the reactor was restarted on July 30th, 2021, and has been operating at full power ever since. I didn't know that. With the HTTR in full swing, things start falling into place for Japan's strategy for carbon neutrality by 2050. On February 8th of this year, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries was commissioned to spearhead the nation's biggest bet on hydrogen to date, the construction of the first ever large-scale hydrogen production plant coupled to direct heat drawn from the HTTR nuclear reactor. The plant will use a new way to produce hydrogen using a two-step thermochemical cycle called the iodine-sulfur or IS cycle. In essence, this runs two separate chemical reactions that produce hydrogen and oxygen, and a third one that consumes water and regenerates the fuel for the first two reactions. So the only input is water and the only outputs are hydrogen and oxygen. Fun fact, many mistakenly refer to hydrogen production this way as pink hydrogen, but it's actually called red hydrogen, as it's a form of high temperature catalytic splitting of water that uses nuclear heat as the source of energy. But why is this game-changing? The significance of Japan's test reactor for all of us is threefold. It'll be the first time that we ever manage to produce large quantities of totally clean hydrogen in a constant, reliable, and economical way with costs far below green hydrogen. This could seriously change the game for the quest for carbon neutrality worldwide, as it could be the answer heavy industries were looking for to decarbonize their operations, something renewables just haven't been able to do just yet. Secondly, these reactors can be built next to industries anywhere, since they don't require vast amounts of nearby running water. So we could see heavy industries moving further away from power grids and closer to raw materials, lowering operational costs and further cutting carbon emissions due to less transportation. The third benefit is related to safety. Or did you think I was just going to cut this video short without addressing something as important and meaningful for nuclear energy? Hydrogen and carbon emissions aside, I have to say the biggest and most significant benefit of Japan's HTTDR reactors is how it fixes one of the biggest and most notorious flaws of nuclear energy: the risk of a nuclear meltdown. These new reactors have a series of inherent safety features that make a nuclear meltdown almost impossible, and it starts with the fuel. HTTR reactors use tristructural isotropic fuel, or TRISO fuel. This is made of tiny ceramic kernels with 6% uranium oxide covered with 4 layers of highly resistant ceramics. This encapsulation traps all the radioactive waste inside and makes it almost impossible for the waste to be released into the atmosphere, even in the case of an accident. But the best part is that these ceramics are incredibly heat resistant and require temperatures of several thousand degrees Fahrenheit to decompose, making a meltdown almost impossible. Additionally, its high thermal conductivity coupled with a high heat capacity helps the TRISO fuel lose heat passively to the surroundings very quickly, which means that even in the unlikely case that there was no active cooling, like what happened during Fukushima, the reactor wouldn't melt down. So you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great, but prove it. And I get it. In fact, I felt the same way, and so did most of the Japanese people. But you know what Japan did? They proved it. As in, they simulated catastrophic failure of the cooling system and control rods in an experiment while the reactor was operating at full capacity. Spoiler alert, it didn't blow up. In fact, it never even got close to the safety limits. The reactor fuel initially reached a scorching 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit and then slowly cooled passively to 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures this high would have spelt doomsday for any other nuclear reactor. Yet the reactor survived unscathed and is still operating today. The test results suggest that we could have Homer Simpson run the reactor and we'd be fine. Jokes aside though, we have a safety margin of at least 1 full week without human intervention and without risk of meltdown or radioactive contamination. Not bad at all. And if you're thinking, that's in Japan, what does that do for me? Well, a lot. The success is unprecedented, and it could mean the return of nuclear power worldwide in all its glory, bringing clean hydrogen along for the ride. But of course, not everything's perfect, and there's always a trade-off. First of all, while HTGRs almost completely solve safety, they still produce as much nuclear waste as the old technologies used to. So we still have to ask ourselves, how are we going to manage all that waste for the next couple 100,000 years? Furthermore, we don't know if this technology and cost structure will scale as the Japanese are predicting, but we have our fingers crossed. So at the end of the day, this breakthrough is massive for 2 reasons. Japan has been moving away from nuclear since Fukushima. A lot of people don't know that, but Japan used to be a really clean country with a lot of nuclear power that turned back to coal and natural gas. But now this might be their way forward to bringing nuclear back online. As I mentioned earlier, so goes Japan when it comes to nuclear and hydrogen production. So goes the rest of the world. So this really is a 2-part breakthrough. The first is higher temperature nuclear reactors that are far safer than the water-cooled systems of the past. And all that extra heat can be used for all sorts of things, like the production of clean hydrogen, or maybe future steel production. And by combining the 2 together, the Japanese stance on battery electric vehicles might not look so foolish. But again, this is an arms race, and this is just the next blow in the battle. So how will the future shake out for nuclear power versus renewables? And what about hydrogen versus battery EVs? Well, this is a big moment, and the future is going to be more exciting as a result. And we will cover all the next breakthroughs as they happen. All right, so that's a look at the future of nuclear-powered hydrogen production in Japan and why it's seriously a game changer. So if you like that video, check out this one next. We think you're going to like. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Ricky, and this is 2-Bit Da Vinci.
That was a good one. Yep. I liked it. I liked it. Red hydrogen. Interesting. I actually had the same problem with red and pink hydrogen. Here's a link.
This video is sponsored by Aventon. The key to carbon
2-Bit Da Vinci. Good stuff. All right. Okay, so I have a few choices of what I could be doing right now. One of them is I need to catch up on my receipts. So basically what I need to do is have a financial statement ready for the lawyer, and oh, well, that was a harsh victory. I was the only ship to die on that one. Great. Did I have the wrong crew? No, I had the right crew. What the hell? Oh, someone's calling. Hello? Yes? Oh, scammer call. Scammer call. Okay. So I need to get to some financials. Oh no. Yeah, extended warranty for my Starship. You received an illegal package containing money. Oh, money? Well, shit. I don't care about that. You can keep it. I'll surrender that package. I'm doing some taxes. I'm actually just chilling. I should probably be done with stream, but it's good to hang out. Um, I should find another video to listen to while I'm doing this. Or I should stream, or I should raid out or something. I got my meeting in an hour and a half, and I probably need to get moving soon. Let's double check. Yeah, it is an hour and a half. Okay, I need to get moving. I'm going to raid out. Thank you so much for the morning hangout. Maybe someday I will stream for longer. A lot is going on in my life. Check out Environmental Coffee House Sunday after the Esna.Earth show. We're going to talk about fusion doomerism. Fusion is not, the fusion ignition is not what you think it is. Very disappointing stuff. All right, now I'm actually going to go find someone to raid. Oh, Smugbug, there we go. Easy. I'll see you later.